Hi everyone, I'm Tia from Tia Karen Interiors, and today I'm going to talk about 3 lies I've heard about interior design. So the first of these is all about trends, and I don't know if you're anything like me. Most likely if you're on this channel, maybe you are, but back in the past, before I actually did any interior design education, like formal interior design education, I was the kind of person that would look at magazines all the time. And now we're going back to the early 2010s, when magazines were really a big thing. This is before the age of Instagram. And back then, I think Pinterest was around, but it was still like in its new days. So magazines were the thing. And I used to love Elle magazine personally, not sponsored or anything, but yeah, I used to love Elle magazine and Architectural Digest, and I would look at these magazines and swoon over all like the interiors and all the spaces that were in there, right, that were created in there. And then they would always talk about trends or what's in right now, and especially being young, being uneducated in interior design formally as well, I would fall for these trends, right? So I'll be like, okay, this is what's in. Plus also the magazines are also filling the magazines with what's on trend right now, right? So I'll be going out and making all these purchases or coming up with design ideas, right, for the trends that are going on right now. And I almost got trapped in this world of like creating spaces that look like what everyone else is creating, right? And with the thing with trends is that, well, they're half a lie, because not everyone actually vibes with that particular trend. It's kind of like fashion and what's in style right now. It doesn't look good on everybody, and it doesn't look good on every skin tone sometimes, right? Or hair length and everything else. So that's the same thing with interior design, right? The reason I'm saying this is a lie and something that, well, we should all be looking into is because if you go out and you buy all this furniture and you create all this beautiful space, but then you're tired of it in a week, you're bored of it in a month or in 2 years, like, oh, this is not even my style anyway. And like when you're looking at all these magazines, what's on trend now has changed and has shifted, well, then it means it's a lie. So what should you be doing if you want to actually create a space that is timeless? You should be having a deeper look at what you like and who you are, and that way you get to have a space that is absolutely perfect and absolutely timeless for you, not for what the magazines are saying. We can look at this for inspiration. They're fun to look at, fun to engage in, and maybe we can take a thing or two, but they lie to hang ourselves, to force to design our entire space forever on it, especially if you're the kind of person that wants to create a forever home kind of interior design style person, right? And if you want to have any more information about how to create a timeless interior design style, I do have another video in this series that you can definitely watch that, and you can find out a little bit more about how you can create that timeless style that suits you. I go more into detail in that video. Okay, so that's lie number 1. What is lie number 2? The second lie is the whole color of the year. Like, I'm an interior designer, so I do respect it. I say this with a lot of respect and admiration for the people that do decide what's on trend and what's the color of the year. However, as a regular person, it can be a big distraction, just like the way that the trends can also be, in the sense of, what if the color of the year is a color that you don't vibe with? What if it's something that you just don't like, you don't like to look at, you don't even like to wear, it's not the color that makes you feel relaxed and most at home. Now, are you going to be following the color of the year? This is a question that we should be asking ourselves. Is it a lie, or is it not true for everyone? Right. Now, there are places in which you can definitely incorporate the color of the year. Like if you're furnishing your house, you can get soft furnishes. So something like, pillow cushions or something like that. That's really easy to just throw in the color of the year. But your entire space doesn't need to be looking like the color of the year, and that's what I mean, like, you know, wall paint. The same also goes if you have a commercial space. Imagine if your business is there and you wanted to be bringing in customers. Okay, in this sense, because it's a business, I can understand why the color of the year might be trendy, but also you might need to know the type of customer that you have. So that's why your branding is really, really important, because if your customers do not vibe with that color, your ideal customers, right, don't vibe with that color in terms of your brand, then you shouldn't be using it. Then the color of the year is irrelevant. However, if you're into really like trendy clientele, or like in the fashion world, then yes, definitely the color of the year would be like really, really good. But otherwise, I definitely think your brand colors mean way more than the color of the year. As I say, you can always bring in the color of the year in soft furnishings. For example, you could include it for that year's menu, right? You could have that color on that menu for that year or that season, because that's something that, as a, let's say if you're a restaurant, you'd be changing. And that's also the same you could do for other businesses. But you can find small ways in which you can incorporate the color of the year, but it's pretty much alive for you to go out there and rebrand everything in this color of the year when it's not even what you like or what your clientele would appreciate in your brand, if based on your brand packaging and marketing, right? Okay, so now we've got the two lies, which are trends and the color of the year. I bring you the third lie. The third lie has been with us for a really, really long time, and it's all about color blocking. You know, everyone is always going about color blocking in fashion, in interior design. They're pretty much similar spaces, right, or style. But, you know, sometimes color blocking isn't what we need based on our personality, because it can be quite intense. So because of the intensity of the color blocking, you need to use it with knowledge, also with colors that will create harmony together, not just any colors, because it can go wrong really quickly, right? And sometimes we just need something, you know, that's monochromatic, something that just flows, something that's just easy based on your personality. Not all of us out here need to have a color blocked spaces. However, it's an amazing thing for other people, and other people thrive in it, and you know, they need this kind of like intense spaces with that big division. Of course, you can do color blocking in a subtle way as well, but what I want to say, like the trends, is that color blocking isn't an essential thing, and you know what, it depends on the color scheme that you want to go for, and it doesn't all have to be also intense as a color block. So with that said, I want to invite you into a little secret, which is you can always book an interior design consultation, which is linked below, and it can help you decide your colors and your personal style. And or you can watch the rest of the videos in this series, and you can definitely get a lot of interior design tips and skills that will help you go and create your own space. But remember, I did talk about the timeless video that will also be linked in this series. But with that, bye my darlings.